the past 3 years, I've built 3 different RC tracks here at my house. And in this video, I want to show you all 3 of those tracks. So let's go check them out. All right, guys, behind me is our 10th scale track. And this was the first track I started building when we moved into the house a couple years ago. And when I first found this spot, it was just an overgrown piece of the property. So I had to get rakes, shovels, picks, everything else out and start digging this thing in. And if you guys are thinking about building your own track, there's nothing wrong with doing it by hand. You just have to pick up the rakes and shovels and get started. If you can do 10 to 15 feet a day, you'll have a nice looking track before you know it. And this particular track was actually pretty darn narrow for the first year we ran it. I was building other stuff on the property, trails, started on my other off-road track that we'll show you a little bit later on. But this track was pretty narrow, so when I decided to widen it out and change the layout a little bit, it really kind of blossomed and became the track it is right now. And one of the coolest things about having your own tracks is you get to see how the weather affects the track surface and the ebbs and flows of the conditions of the racetrack. As you can see behind me, I don't have any borders or walls on the outside of this track with corrugated pipe like you'll see on my other tracks. And I actually really like that about this track. And when we do some videos, I'll typically paint the lines on the outside, and that really makes the whole track pop. And this was one of the most recent times I did this. In the fall, you can see my LC Racing 14th scale Truggy make a lap on this track, and the track really looks awesome with those fall conditions. The surface has a little bit of tack and moisture to it, and it isn't too rough and rocky. All right, we got 2 more tracks to show you, so let's take a walk down to the other side of the driveway and we'll check out my oval. All right, our newest track here at the house that I built last summer is our dirt oval. And I'm definitely a dirt oval guy at heart. I raced wing sprint cars for about 5 years. So this track was not only fun to build, but it's been a blast to run on. If we get bored of the off-road tracks, we can come down here and you can really easily have battles with our short course trucks. It's fun to just pound laps, really try to hone in the line and have a ball down here. If you're thinking about building your own track, an oval might be the best place to start. And you can branch off of an oval and add in off-road features outside of the oval and have both of those options. So it's a really good place to start. And it's also a good place to learn technique of finding your straightaways and some really good smooth cornering without having to worry about those jumps on a track as well. So really good place to start if you're thinking about building your own track. All right, the winter has definitely really firmed up this track, so it's actually really nice right now. We're gonna run on it again here shortly. But before we do, let's head all the way up to the back of the property and we'll show you kind of the crown jewel of our racetracks, the big 8 scale off-road track up there. All right, guys, here's our 8 scale track, and this thing is awesome. I don't think the camera actually does it justice. There's a ton of elevation change, so as you can see behind me, it really goes up to that top portion of the track, and you can't actually see what's up there from down here. So just to get this track started, we had to bring in a mini excavator and clear this whole area, which took me probably a good 8 to 10 hours. And because I'm no magician with a machine, I had to finish it all by hand. And I put in a ton of hours, hand raking, shoveling, moving stuff around. I've actually done 2 separate track changes, all by hand to reconfigure both this bottom side of the track as well as the top side there. Built our driver stand. We brought in some containers to funnel some water in there because it's really tough to get water all the way up the hill here. But let's show you some laps on this track. This thing is an absolute blast. I started building this track, it was really my goal to have one of the coolest backyard RC tracks in the world. So leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the track. Tell me if you think it's one of, the top 5 tracks out there. I personally think it is, but I might be a little bit biased. I've seen some incredible tracks. If you want to see more from my tracks, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.